Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about a panic experience I had before I recovered from anxiety. That I want to bring you back to a time in my life when I was suffering from severe panic, and I want to bring you to a specific moment, a panic moment, and really take that apart so it relates to your story. Maybe you've experienced panic, maybe you are currently experiencing panic, and I want to break down my story so it can relate to what you're currently going through. And I'd recommend that you share this video with someone in your family, maybe a close friend who doesn't know what going through panic is like, what it's like to go through panic attack. And this video will help shine a light on what it's like to feel trapped, to feel alone with health anxiety. And I also recommend you watch last week's video, because last week's video is on how to overcome a panic attack, the steps, the strategies to overcome panic. And this week's video right now is about panic and what it's like, the details. So let's get into the details. And I want to bring you back to an experience I've had at the Art Gallery of Ontario. So it's in this massive building, this massive art gallery. And I just started dating Maggie at the time. Maggie is my fiance. And at the time, it was just the beginning of our dating. And we walk into the art gallery and we walk into an exhibit and we're looking at the paintings, and Maggie's looking at the paintings and I'm looking at them, but then all of a sudden, immediately, I start to feel these sensations. Something emerged from the depths. It's like the Jaws poster. The woman is swimming on the surface. The Leviathan, the beast from the unknown, the shark is right there coming up from the depths. The novelty, the unknown, is coming up from the depths. And that's what happened. I started to pay attention to the strange feelings that was occurring. And I started to recognize my heart beating. It was beating faster, shallow breathing, couldn't get enough oxygen. And then shallow depth of field, the dizziness. And then I said to myself, oh no. And it was that oh no that snowballed my anxiety, because I was reacting to the symptoms as if it was a predatory animal. And then my anxiety systems were active at that point, and I was in fight, flight, or freeze. So I wanted to get out of there. And what I did was I turned to Maggie. She was looking at the paintings, and I started to distance myself from her, and then I started to walk into another room. And meanwhile, I was so caught up into this unknown, trying to make sense of it. That's what I was doing. I started to obsess, because at that point during panic, you start to obsess over your symptoms because you're trying to make sense of this unknown territory that you're in. I mean, you're out in the woods and you get lost, you don't have a proper map, right? Your anxiety systems kick in and you try to figure out how to get out of this situation, how to get out of the unknown, how to get back into some known territory. And that's what I was doing in that situation. I was walking into this other room, trying to make sense of it, obsessing over it. What could this be? What if it's heart attack? What if I have trouble breathing and I faint? What if I vomit right now because I don't feel so good? What if Maggie thinks I'm going crazy? What if she leaves me because she thinks I'm crazy? What if I tell her that, oh no, I have to leave because I'm not feeling well, and she thinks, wow, what a waste of a day, and wow, what a loser. And it was just this social judgment aspect of the situation that was making me feel trapped, right? I was feeling trapped not only in the building, but also in my mind. I was trapped in the sense that I didn't know what was going on internally, why I felt this way, that it was anxiety, that it was health anxiety, that it was my amygdala. I didn't know that. And also, it was the judgment from other people that was keeping me tracked. I can't tell Maggie what I'm going through because she'll think I'm this, she'll think I'm that. I can't rely on other people, but they'll think I'm going crazy, they'll think I'm weird. I'm going to make a scene in front of everybody, and I don't want to make a scene in front of everybody. And so I distance myself from Maggie. I walk into this other room, but then nothing's going away. I'm looking, I'm trying to put on this mask, right? Trying to pretend everything is normal, but it's not really working. I come back out, I have the same mask on. I'm looking at the paintings, but I don't see the paintings. I see the Leviathan, right? Essentially, I see the dragon within me. I see the things that could be, right? The heart palpitations, the shallow breathing, the dizziness, the things that could be life-threatening, right? And so I go and sit down, and Maggie's walking around. She's looking. She doesn't even know what's going on with me. But in my mind, in my body, it's just chaos. And then I'm sitting down on a bench, and then she comes over me, and she's like, "Is everything okay?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I don't feel so well, and I'm just taking a breather. My heart is beating a little too fast. It's like this thing within me is desperately screaming out for help. But on the surface, I'm trying to mask it as much as possible." And so I'm like, everything is okay. My heart's beating so fast. And then she puts her hand on my heart. And then she's like, "Oh my God, it is beating fast." And it was her reaction that got me. Her reaction was like, this is unknown. She doesn't know, right? I was expecting some reassurance from that experience. Like when you go on Dr. Google, you expect what Google provides you will be reassuring, and it will settle the unknown and give you some known order, right? But that's not what happens when you Google it. You see cancer, you see tumor, you see disease, and it triggers your anxiety even more. This flood of fear consumes you. And then at that moment on the bench when Maggie said, "Oh my God, your heart's beating fast," I was feeling that rush of fear instantly because she didn't know. I was expecting some knowledge, some order there. But no, I got, "Oh my God, something's wrong," from her, like that feeling. And then I felt anxiety even more, and I felt the dizziness even more. My heart was beating even faster, and then I couldn't even breathe. And then I was like, is it okay if I put my head on your lap? So I put my head on her lap, and she just has her hand on my head, and she's like, "Everything's gonna be okay. And would you like me to meet you some water?" And I was afraid of being alone because I didn't want to be alone just in case something serious happened. But then she got the security to get me water, which was, I felt inside like, "Oh, this is embarrassing." Now the security guy is standing there concerned about this guy who's lying on this bench and in this unknown territory, lost in his own mind, completely flooded with strange sensations. It was just chaos, utter chaos. And after that, I'm trying to recollect. So yeah, I think thoughts like, maybe Maggie thinks I'm a fool. Maybe she thinks I'm weak. How is she ever gonna stay with me? What am I even gonna do in the future? And to explain this to Maggie, but screw the future. What is even going on inside of me right now? And I was just looking for a way out, right? And I wanted to get up, but I felt like if I walked that I would faint. And so at one point later, after I drink some water, I'm sitting upright. I think I can get out of here. So I stand up and I tell Maggie, "You know what? Just give me some space. I'm gonna go phone my parents, and get some fresh air. So I get up and then my legs are like noodles. The world was like tilting under me. The depersonalization was in, right? And that's what happens when you have anxiety. You get depersonalization. And so I was trying to walk, hoping that I wouldn't faint. So I walk out, grab my phone, call up my parents, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like this, and I feel like I'm going to faint. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. And they said, oh, you have anxiety, and you just need to calm down. And I'm like, I'm not calm. And they're saying a lot of things to reassure me, but none of it's helping. I'm still in the unknown because I still feel the sensations. I'm looking for something that will instantly get rid of my panic. That's what I'm looking for. So I first of all, I leave the room, which is not a good thing. You're not supposed to do that when you have anxiety and panic. You should not leave because you're just enhancing the fear, right? You're strengthening the fear circuit. But I left, went and phoned my parents. My panic didn't seem to go away. And so I then text Maggie, where are you? And she said she's outside. So I go outside and I sit there, and my anxiety has lessened, partly because I left the building, but also because I'm so exhausted because I spent 45 minutes to an hour circling and pacing the art gallery because of how I'm feeling. And also, while I was in the art gallery on the phone to my parents, I had a hard time staying still. I was always pacing. I was always going in and out of different rooms of the art gallery because I was in flee mode. I was just trying to make sense of it, but I also had a lot of energy, right? I was in flee mode, just running back and forth, cortisol, adrenaline pumping through my blood, pumping through my body, just going back and forth on the phone, trying to make sense of it. And then after on the steps, Maggie and I, we walk away from the gallery. And then once I was home was the time that I felt completely relaxed. I mean, relieved, actually. That's the best word to describe it. Relieved, because I'm away from the dragon, right? I'm away from the waters. The shark can't get me because I'm on land. I'm over here now. But I had to inevitably go back out there eventually. And while I'm at home, I felt relieved. I'm near people that, that care about me. I'm near my bedroom, and I'm near, the telephone and to call the emergency personnel, whatever. I was just at home in the safe zone, right? Known territory. That's where I was. I was in known territory. The art gallery was unknown territory. So, as you can see from my story, well, I did many things wrong there. If you watched last week's video, yeah, there was a lot of things I did wrong. But I was in this unknown, chaotic space, and the Leviathan emerged, something I didn't know existed. And the thing about being at home now was that I knew that the dragon was still there. I knew the shark is still there. That's the thing. I didn't overcome that shark. I didn't overcome that dragon. It's still lurking there. And I know eventually it'll come back. The dragon just receded back into its cave, but it's still there. And that's what I really want to emphasize. It's about slaying the dragon. It's about overcoming panic by confronting that panic, right? Confronting what you don't want to confront, to prove to yourself that you won't die in that situation. And to get yourself knowledgeable, to understand what was going on. Why did that panic emerge? What did I do wrong? What am I doing every day to facilitate that panic that comes my way? What can I do during the day to prepare myself appropriately to handle that panic, right? And that's the goal. And that's where I want to leave you on today's video. I hope this video has shined a light on panic, what it's like, Maybe it relates to your story. If it does relate to your story, please leave a comment below. I want to read your story. And lastly, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.